Hey there, and welcome back to Book Summary in 5 Minutes. Well, today we're breaking our own rules and going a little longer because this book is just that good. I'm talking about The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. And honestly, this might be the most important book about money you'll ever encounter. Not because it's going to teach you some get-rich-quick scheme or secret investment formula, but because it's going to completely change how you think about wealth, success, and what it means to be truly rich. Whether you're drowning in student debt, climbing the corporate ladder, or already building your investment portfolio, the insights in this book will hit you like a lightning bolt of clarity. Today, we're diving into one of the most talked about books in personal finance. But fair warning, this book won't tell you where to invest or how to beat the market. Instead, it reveals something much deeper and more powerful. That how you think about money matters infinitely more than how much you know about it. So grab your coffee, find a comfortable spot, and let's dive into the psychology that separates the wealthy from the broke. Part 1. The shocking truth. It's not about IQ, it's about behavior. Here's something that might blow your mind. Housel opens with a story that should make every finance expert uncomfortable. Picture this. A janitor named Ronald Read worked his whole life at a gas station and as a janitor. Never earned more than minimum wage. But when he died in 2014, he left behind $8 million. Meanwhile, Richard Fuscone, Harvard MBA, former vice chairman of Merrill Lynch, went bankrupt just a few years later. How is this possible? Because being good with money has absolutely nothing to do with intelligence, education, or sophisticated financial knowledge. It's 100% about behavior. Doing well with money has little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. Think about your own life for a second. You probably know someone who earns 6 figures but is always stressed about money, living paycheck to paycheck. And you might know someone else with a modest income who seems to have it all figured out, never stressed, always able to handle emergencies, quietly building wealth. That's not luck. That's not secret knowledge. That's behavior. And behavior, that's something every single one of us can control. Part 2. The most powerful force in finance. It's not what you think. Ready for another mind-blowing fact? Warren Buffett, arguably the greatest investor of all time, made over 90% of his $84 billion fortune after his 60th birthday. Not because he suddenly got smarter or discovered some secret strategy, but because he understood something most people completely ignore: the incredible power of time. Here's what most people get wrong. They think investing is about finding the perfect stock, timing the market perfectly, or having some insider knowledge. But Buffett's secret weapon wasn't genius, it was starting at age 10 and never stopping. If Buffett had earned the same returns but started investing at 30 instead of 10, he'd be worth about $12 million today instead of $84 billion. Same brain, same skills, but missing those crucial 20 years of compounding. Good investing is not about making good decisions. It's about consistently not screwing up. This changes everything, doesn't it? It means you don't need to be a genius. You don't need to predict the market. You just need to start early, stay consistent, and this is crucial, don't panic when things get scary. Because here's what Housel discovered. The biggest risk to your wealth isn't market crashes or economic downturns. It's you. It's your impulse to sell when everyone else is selling, to chase the hot stock everyone's talking about, to think you can time the market better than professionals who do this for a living. Part 3. The invisible truth about real wealth. We live in an Instagram world where wealth looks like luxury cars, massive houses, designer clothes, and exotic vacations. But Housel drops a truth bomb that should change how you see success forever. Spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. Real wealth, it's invisible. It's what you don't spend. It's the money that stays in your account, growing quietly in the background. It's the freedom to say no to a job you hate. It's the peace of mind that comes from knowing you can handle whatever life throws at you. Here's a story that illustrates this perfectly. Housel tells us about a man driving a $400,000 Ferrari. When people see that car, they think, whoa, that guy must be rich. But here's what they should actually think. Wow, that guy used to have $400,000, but now he has a car.
The truly wealthy person, they're driving a reliable Toyota and investing the difference. They understand that wealth isn't about looking rich, it's about being rich. And being rich means having options, having freedom, having security. Wealth is quiet, flexing is loud, and loud doesn't last. Part 4. Why everyone's playing a different game and why that matters. Here's something that trips up almost everyone. We assume other people are investing for the same reasons we are, but that's completely wrong, and it leads to disastrous decisions. A day trader trying to make quick profits is playing a completely different game than someone saving for retirement 30 years from now. Yet they're both watching the same news, reading the same headlines, and often making decisions based on what they see others doing. That's like a marathon runner taking advice from a sprinter. Different games, different strategies, different goals. Avoid taking financial cues from people playing a game that you're not playing. So when you see someone on TikTok bragging about their crypto gains, ask yourself, are they playing your game? When you hear about someone making a fortune day trading, remember that's not your strategy if you're building long-term wealth. The most dangerous words in finance might be, but everyone else is doing it. Everyone else has different goals, different timelines, different risk tolerances. Your financial strategy should be as unique as your fingerprint. Part 5. The most powerful word in finance. Here's a real-life story from my favorite book, The Psychology of Money. Joseph Heller, the author of Catch-22, was at a billionaire's party one day. One of the guests mentioned that their host, a hedge fund manager, made more money in a single day than Heller made from his best-selling novel in its entire lifetime. Heller's response? Yes, but I have something he'll never have. Enough. Think about the people you know who seem perpetually dissatisfied despite their success. They hit one goal and immediately set their sights on the next one. They earn 100K but need 200K. Not only that, but they get the promotion but want the next one. They buy the house but dream of a bigger one. If you're always chasing more, you'll never feel satisfied no matter how much you earn. The richest person in the room isn't necessarily the one with the most money, it's the one who has figured out what enough means for them and can actually say, I have enough. This doesn't mean you should stop growing or stop earning. It means you should know when to stop taking unnecessary risks to get more of something you already have plenty of. Part 6. The stories we tell ourselves. Here's something fascinating. We all construct stories to make sense of financial success and failure. And these stories, they're usually completely wrong. When someone loses money in the stock market, we say they were greedy or took too much risk. When someone makes money, we say they were smart or disciplined. But the reality is much messier. Sometimes smart people lose money due to bad luck. Sometimes foolish decisions happen to pay off. The danger is when we believe our own stories too much. If you make money on a risky investment, your story might be, I'm good at this. But the reality might be, I got lucky. And if you believe the first story, you might take even bigger risks next time. If you lose money, your story might be, I'm terrible with money. But the reality might be, I learned an expensive but valuable lesson. The key is staying humble when you win and staying hopeful when you lose. Final takeaway, the real secret to wealth. All right, let's bring all this together. Here's what the psychology of money teaches us and why it matters for your life starting right now. You don't need to be a genius, you need to be consistent and patient. Time matters more than timing. Start now, even if it's just $10 a month. Wealth is what you don't show off. The flashy lifestyle you see on social media often masks financial insecurity. Your financial plan should match your life, not your neighbors, not some influencers, not even your parents. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is, that's enough. Knowing when you have enough might be the ultimate form of wealth. Messy, the stories you tell yourself matter. Stay humble in success, stay hopeful in failure. But here's the most important takeaway. Your behavior with money is a skill you can learn and improve. It's not fixed. It's not determined by your background, your education, or your current situation. Starting today, you can choose to think differently about money. You can choose to focus on time rather than timing. You can build real wealth rather than the appearance of wealth. you can define what enough means for you. Thanks for staying with me for this deeper dive into the psychology of money. If today's episode challenged how you think about wealth and success, I'd love to hear about it. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and seriously consider picking up the full book. Morgan Housel packs every page with insights that will change how you see money forever. Before you go, if you found this summary valuable, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a life-changing book breakdown. We're building a community of lifelong learners here, and I don't want you to miss out. And if you haven't already, check out our last video where we broke down Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's the perfect companion to today's episode because it shows you exactly how to build the consistent behaviors that create wealth over time. You'll find it right here on the channel. Finally, here's where I need your help. What book should we tackle next? Drop a